Imagine getting a phone call from a fellow pastor saying, there's a woman in my hotel room, and I don't know how she got here. What about dealing with the ego of congregation members who think they run the church and you don't? Our next panel conversation talks to 3 pastors who give us some advice and also some interesting stories of the drama they've had to deal with in the church, and more importantly, how they all overcame that drama. What goes through your mind when you see a story and all of a sudden you see that a minister is arrested, a minister has to go to jail, you have folks who are locked out of churches and then they're going to court? When you see these stories, what goes through your mind when you see that? Because certainly there's a pastor involved, there's a family involved, there's also a church family involved.
What were they thinking? That's what goes through my mind. I mean, with all appropriate humility, I mean, any of us could make a terrible mistake. But sometimes it's beyond a mistake. It's
right.
Like, what were they smoking? What were they thinking? But then the reality is, when people do stuff that you cannot explain, you still have to find a way to recover. And restoration, a good Bible word. Restoration, but it's not wave a magic wand and act like it didn't happen, but help the person go through some steps to recover their sanity.
Because it amazes me, because a lot of times you hear folks say, well, look, I understand I made a mistake, but God will forgive, so let me go right back. And as if there's no pause or anything as it relates to what you actually did.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely consequences to our actions, even in light of forgiveness and restoration. There's still consequences. And, and the unfortunate thing is oftentimes when pastors make those kinds of mistakes, the reverberations affect a lot of other pastors, because you'll have people who are kind of tenuous about their relationship to organized religion or church, and then the immediate thing that they'll say is, well, see, there you are. And sometimes it's a difficult thing. I mean, we can't account for everybody else's missteps and mistakes, but it's a difficult thing when you have to sort of at least address the fact that there's a great measure of imperfection in all of this.
But also for me, when you ask what my first thought is, honestly, the first thought is, but for the grace of God. Mm-hmm. And then I start to look at my accountability systems. And I try to make sure that my stuff is shored up, because any of us, if we don't have the right systems around us to help us along the journey, to continue to kind of try to live this kind of life of integrity, can find ourselves slipping. It can be a slippery slope, and you can have the best of intentions, you can be moving forward in the best kind of lifestyle before the Lord, and just in a very slippery kind of a way, end up falling away if you don't have kind of the people around you, the systems in place to keep you with a sense of accountability.
Let's talk about accountability, because that is a really, really important area. Because when you talk about the people around you, if we really want to be honest, there are people who gravitate to wanting to be at the side of the pastor, wanting to be I want to be your armor bearer. I want to be the person who's with you, all the sort of things like that. And so how do you, using Tony's words, protect yourself to make sure that you have folks who are there for the right reasons, as opposed they're somebody who can really end up creating drama in your life?
Well, let me give you a good example.
And she's sitting there smiling, so I know she's sitting there going, okay, I got a couple of stories in me. See, I busted you on that one. Tony, go ahead.
Look, just a personal example. So we started a church. My church we started in a nightclub. The church plant started in a nightclub.
You started in a nightclub?
In a nightclub.
Oh, so you went to the drama?
A fully functioning nightclub. They partied till 5 in the morning. We had service at 10 and 12 on Sunday morning. So we started in a nightclub, the Legend nightclub, a notorious nightclub in Prince George's County. And so nobody needed directions. Everybody knew where to go, and some could just stay over from the night before. Now, we couldn't do Bible study there on Wednesday nights because there was strip night there on Wednesday nights. And so we had to make sure our members didn't go there for the strip club nights and those kinds of things. But it was a nightclub. It was a nightclub.
Okay.
Well, I knew as we started, the Lord blessed with tremendous growth just off the top. And I'm sitting there, as come as you are, and I'm realizing I had to call. My mother was on staff, my brother was on staff at the church we had just come out of, Ebenezer AME Church. And I called my mother and said, Mama, when are you coming over? She said, baby, I'm praying about it. I said, Mama, talk to God, have God talk to you faster. Because I knew that I needed her presence there with me not just anybody there, but I needed my mother's presence there with me because if folks were coming to watch, some of the best stuff they had was club outfits because they weren't church people. And so I knew that I needed my mother there because I needed my mother there on this pulpit with me. I needed her there at the door with me, shaking hands. That was to help me, as well as help the church be shaped. You see what I'm saying? Putting people around you who you trust, who know you, who aren't scared of you, who aren't yes people.
Who will check you.
Who will check you and and strongly check you, and who can see when you're headed for a wreck. And so my mother's that way. I have good friends, Reverend Matthew Watley, and some other brothers. We've come up along the journey, and we have accountability kind of partnerships, and we call each other. We're on the road. Hey, what's happening? How you living? How's it going?
Where are you?
Where are you?
What you doing?
Or I've had people call me from the road. Hey, I need you to talk Jesus to me. What was happening? I walked up in my room, and there was a woman in my room, that ain't supposed to be in my room. I don't know how she got there, but she's fine. Please talk Jesus to me, sing a hymn to me while
Where you
I go
at?
to
I'm in the
security
bathroom,
to
she
help
in the
me to
couch.
get up out of
Right.
here. You know what I'm saying? And so, but you need people who will not be yes people, who will really be there for
Absolutely.
you, and who are who have a sense of kingdom business. And who don't just see it as a job, but who see it really as work for the kingdom of God, and that they really are scared of God as much as you're scared of God.
Cheryl, you were sitting there smiling when I posed the question.
The thing is that Reverend Lee spoke about his mother being a very important person, a person in ministry who brings a certain maturity and gravity and seriousness of purpose. But that's not the typical person who's going to come around you to support you.
Right.
And so the challenge is sometimes those people who should be in position to hold you accountable, you also have to hold them accountable. And sometimes it's just think about Jesus and the disciples. He called these random people and he was drawing them to a place, but some of them had a steep learning curve.
Right.
Okay? But so there's a take and give in the accountability is what I'm trying to say.
And Pastor Harkins, look, a lot of times you also know when you're dealing with some crazy folks.
Well, faith, we know. It elicits a lot of passion and a lot of zeal on the part of many people. And that's why you have that kind of, I guess, enthusiasm, even sometimes unbridled, that you're talking about. And it's important, I think, as a leader to put that kind of thing in proper perspective. I'm glad that there are people who want to be supportive, but at the same time,
who want to be servants,
who want to be
involved.
servants. But it's incumbent on me to make sure that they understand what good servanthood really looks like, as I exemplify it, as I model it, but also as they do it. I don't need a sort of a cordon of I was going to say mafioso or whatever it is.
Your entourage, a posse.
I don't need that posse. Exactly. Now there are going to be people who are helpful, of course, but I'm trying to always make sure that they understand it's not about serving me. And you see, and that's a sort of a human gravitation, that it's easy to all of a sudden sort of idolize the pastor, whoever it is, and it's incumbent on that pastor to say, no, it's not about me.
Now speaking of not about me, how do you deal with, as pastors, of individuals who believe I run this, I run the choir, I run the ushers, I run the media ministry? Because that's also where you get a whole lot of drama, where you have folks who say, no, I run this. See, I can tell. See, y'all reaction, y'all having some flashbacks right now, I can tell, of some stuff you have to deal with on that.
Well, I'll say this. The Lord can humble you. And I think when I say that, I really mean that it's important for those individuals to understand that it's not about them just as much as it's not about me. And sometimes, sadly, that'll happen in ways that are very poignant. What I mean by that is I had one of my mentors in ministry, Samuel DeWitt Proctor. He told me that sometimes, you really become a pastor after a few times of walking out the front door singing "Near My God to Thee" as somebody is lying prone behind you. And I guess what I'm trying to say is we all have to remember our human frailty. And there's going to be some people for whom it's not going to be you who teaches them that lesson, but you learn the lesson of being patient and understanding. But I do think that, it's important for people to always realize that you're called to be a visionary leader, and you're called to have that responsibility. And it's tough sometimes.
Have y'all had to face that?
Well, I think it's a piece also of the culture and how you shape the culture in the church, and also what you think about discipleship. Because if you look at the church, especially in the African-American community, has been that one place in which people who were displaced, who didn't have much authority and leadership in their own personal lives, jobs, etc.,
Yes.
could come to and have a place of sense of leadership, authority, etc. But there's a need to be able to help people walk along that journey so that they're not then trying to be many lords in the house. And so,
See, I have a phrase called "stay in your lane."
Well, one, stay in your lane. Two, God is the only one who really runs this place.
Right.
And so there's a need to be able to kind of, so what we try to do is shape an atmosphere of servant leadership. That to be a great leader, it means that you're the one who serves the most. And what then happens is people who have taken kind of this attitude of I run it, then look out of place when the whole leadership focus and culture is in a different kind of a way. But even if they look out of place, there's still a place of grace and being able to help them to a place of wholeness and understanding how to move in a situation.
And sometimes the nuance is just allowing for them, as you just said a minute ago, oftentimes in the black church, that place of significance, the nuance of celebrating their capacity, celebrating what they do, and not so much sanctioning them to have, unbridled leadership, but really celebrating the fact that they are committed. And I think a lot of times that goes an awfully long way in helping them to realize they're part of a whole as opposed to being the one.
Well, we certainly appreciate the conversation, and hopefully folks will learn from it. And again, keep as much drama out of the church. Take it somewhere else. Just don't do it inside here.
Amen to that.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.